What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
I'm Jammin John.
And we're doing a Thralls Roundtable, and we have Cain Cressall from the Amenta, which was on both of our year-end lists for last year. Holy shit, what a cathartic, twisted listen. Definitely kind of brought me back to, actually remind me a lot of Strapping Young Lad, and I'm a fucking diehard Strapping Young Lad fan. Like, especially, oh god, City and Alien, like that sort of thing. And well, he's been a fan ever since we reviewed it, which, I mean, that album twisted us. If you go back and watch that review, we were like, dude, what the fuck? This is so cool.
Yep.
So we figured we'd sit down and have a chat. So how's it going, man?
Very well. It was a wild review. Thank you guys so much for the amazing support. You guys fucking rule. Keep doing what you do. Very appreciated by the world of extreme underground metal. Doing well. Doing all right.
That's good. Well, I figured this was also like a good chance to like talk about just Australian metal, because here lately, dude, your country is just kicking out band after band of just crazy awesome stuff. And the Amenta, of course, included.
I can't keep up with that shit. It's just too much. It really is. It's an amazing scene in Australia, a really diverse scene. There's just a lot of wild shit coming out all the time. I've been kind of living under a rock for a long time, so I miss a lot of what's going on. But yeah, absolutely, it's a thriving scene here for sure.
It's like I said, it just seems like every month or so I find a new band. It's like, oh wow, this band's awesome. Where are they from? Australia, of course. And I wonder if they're as venomous as the wildlife. I always bring up the wildlife every time. Because, dude, you know, we have like friends on Facebook. Oh, just come out to Australia. We'll take you on a tour of the place, hit up some shows. Like, yeah, but isn't everything trying to kill you like all the time?
Pretty much.
I don't trust like any animals. Like, look at like cute furry things. Like, nah, if it looks at you, you'll die.
Well, it's because you watched that. You watched that documentary with the 73 worst ways to die in Australia or something like that.
This is only 73.
I've got to see that. Send me a link. I got to check that. I want to see if it's changed since the last time I looked into that. If we've got any new creatures around.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you're like, oh no, they forgot about these. Maybe they were new.
Yeah.
I want to say I remembered like
we're just looking out. Be careful.
The cone-shelled snails, like, yeah, even the snails, like, oh yeah, it shoots at a barb and there's no anti-venom for it and it hurts the entire time you're dying. Like,
oh yeah, man, those things are fucked. I've never been on the receiving end of one of them, but the ocean is one of the more frightening places to be in down under.
I mean, you know, seeing people surf out there is like, don't you know everything's in there? It's gonna everything bad. Everything bad.
One of everything is in there.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's a dangerous place.
So the sharks are armed with like machetes and bazookas. They don't really need it, but I'm sure they got it.
Yeah.
Sharknado.
Yeah, it's all happening. It's never a boring moment in Australia.
So how did you like do like pretty much, I guess, all the downtime? I mean, you know, you guys under quarantine again too, or lockdown?
That's another thing I can't really keep up with. I've just kind of stopped paying attention, to be honest. I've just stopped paying attention. I'm just kind of in my bubble, doing my thing, kicking along, staying focused on projects and things. Because shit just seems to, rules change every 5 minutes. It's just a fucking shit show, and feel like mental health is a lot better without being too sort of deeply connected to this narrative. You know, it's I'd rather just listen to music and watch horror films and you know, record some new shit, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally hearing you on the you know, keeping busy thing. Like, again, that was kind of the thing that we just don't watch the news because there's nothing good. America's never good, you know, in the news anyway. Like, anytime America's brought up, it's generally something bad. So,
right. Yeah. Right. We apologize for being assholes.
But we're frequent and good at it.
Right.
Mainstream media is poison, regardless where you are in the world. It's just poison. I've been away from it for. It's probably been 15 years since I've been, switched off from TV in general, and just VHS and DVD collections are more than enough to sort of, keep me amused without having to switch that shit on and
stimulate the brain in the ways you want to, not in the ways
creative ways, not in not social conditioning or any of this garbage.
I mean,
I'm away from that.
Yeah, just down here listening to music. I'd rather do that because I feel that's constructive. I don't know, it feels good. Like, even if it's like the most negative stuff, like when we were reviewing the new Cult of Luna, dark, cold, barren sounding album. It feels desperate and like it's not happy at all, but there's like a catharsis, like a joy coming out of it. Like, I just enjoy this.
Some kind of release, some kind of outlet.
Yeah,
that's fucking cool.
That's
very glad to hear it.
Yeah, that's healthy. I mean, I think that. Oh, excuse me, is at least kind of constructive, and plus, like I'm writing down notes and stuff while I'm doing it. I'm trying to think like different things to talk about, like anything to keep the dendrites firing and not focus on the fucking absolute shit show the planet became.
Yeah,
in a real hurry.
Yeah.
But we're starting to get shows back, and that was another big thing, was just getting live music back, because we did a couple of like live streams and they were cool, but without that whole crowd feedback thing, like that's like the giant sort of like just cult head banging, all that. Like
I need that energy. I
needed
that energy for so long, and I need it.
I'd be lying if I
needed shows.
Yeah. Oh, big time. I'd be lying if I hadn't said, if I'd said I hadn't considered the idea of going down that path, but I just can't see. It just feels too fucking awkward. I just don't think I could pretend I'm playing to an audience while I'm playing to a laptop. I think it'd just be too strange.
Yeah.
So, I recently bought Death Angel. They did their live stream. They put it out on Blu-ray and CD. I was like, why not? I'll get it, because I love Death Angel. And it was just weird, after every song you don't hear the crowd go, it's just, I don't know, like even like when I watched the Acefix did a free one on YouTube. It was awesome. But even Martin Van Drunen was just like, I'm just gonna pretend you're the world's quietest crowd. That's the only thing I can do. Cheers. And he just like chugged the beer.
Is awesome. That's fucking cool. Martin Van Drunen's one of my biggest heroes in as far as death metal vocals. So he's someone that you can always come back to and always just go, fuck, this never gets boring. This is just always fucking incredible.
I jam Consuming Impulse like so damn much. I fucking love that album. But I mean, Acefix just has a solid discography. Even the stuff without Martin was really good. But his vocal delivery it's just, I feel it's painful. Like, how does he still do it? Man,
it's a beautiful texture, a really beautiful texture he has going on.
Chunks of big throat and lung that come out with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, props him still being able to do it, and he delivered live. Like, he sounded fucking great live. The whole band did. It's just, again, weird. No crowd.
Yeah, very weird. But it's, I mean, when that shit's there, it pops up. It's cool to support it and fucking get on there and support those bands that are doing it. And I admire them, the bands that are doing it as well. Like, well done. At least you're kind of having a go at something within, our restrictions. But I couldn't do it. But props to the guys that are doing it though. It's very fucking cool.
See, I mean, I get it, like doing like the YouTube thing and like live streaming, because we actually talk and respond to all the comments. Like, they're playing an entire set, they're not getting a chance to, like, oh hey, this song's awesome, you guys did great there. Like, there's like, unless you do like an after party, like, all right, let's catch up with oh my god, there's a lot of comments. Jesus.
Oh wow.
13,000 comments. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, where do I start? Holy shit! I've just noticed John's repping our Australian brothers on his hoodie. Fuck yeah!
Oh, I love Cycroptic.
Very cool. Yeah.
Seen them.
How did it take me that long to fucking click? But there we are. It's just popped in there. Cool.
Well,
actually,
my coffee is starting to kick in.
Yeah.
Finally.
Actually, someone just it was one of our subscribers hit us up and on Facebook or Instagram and was like, "Hey, this is pretty awesome." And he pitched us Earth Rot, and I was like, "Yeah, we reviewed that one. It's fucking awesome. Badass Australian HM2 fucking pure gnar."
Yep,
absolutely. Good. Those guys are good mates of ours as well. We were supposed to be actually the one tour that we did announce, which was cancelled. Those guys were going to be jumping on board with us, and yeah, sadly, I mean, we knew it was probably pretty unlikely it would go ahead with all the bullshit going on. So, but yeah, killer band, great dudes as well, sure. Really good guys.
Yeah, we just got hip to the band Descent not too long ago. Order of Chaos. My God, dude.
I love that. Oh, I jammed it twice at work last night.
It's HM2 hardcore with like a smattering of black metal in there just to make it sound a little bit more evil. And yeah, it was Kurt Balu.
So which band was this?
Descent. Order of Chaos.
See, again, this is, I miss a lot. So I'm absolutely not up to date with the more a lot of the more modern.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
Okay, all right, cool.
Like
some homework.
Dismember. Nice. Actually, Kurt Balu did the production, so a little bit of that Converge sort of just extra grit on there. The drums sound like fucking cannons. Someone told me about him. Was like, if you like HM2, I was like, oh, everyone that watches our channel knows I'm a giant slut for HM2. So yeah, gimme.
Cool.
And then found out they're Australian. I was like, well, that makes sense. It's heavier than hell and awesome, and that seems to be most of the stuff I get from Australia here lately.
Pretty much anytime there's I read a band's from Australia, I immediately check it out because everything I've heard out of there whoops ass. So.
Yeah, you get a solid bang everybody. People were talking about like Ohio and everything, like it was like, we got 200 stab wounds and sank with Sugabog and stuff like that. It was but like literally like almost every band that seems to come out of Australia is like, dude, there's so many good ones, like ridiculous amounts. Like I think like in terms of like metal, Cycroptic was probably the first one that I got into. It was like, oh wow, they got a really cool fucking metal scene there. And saw them. I've seen them live 3 times. I saw them open up for Carcass, and it's Dave Haley's the drummer. Is the guitarist or the bassist his brother?
Joe, the guitarist, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That guy is unfucking real with those riffs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was spellbound.
I think one of the first shows I did, so I'm from Perth in Western Australia. One of the first shows I did outside of my state was in Adelaide many years ago. With Cycroptic. I couldn't even tell you what year that would have been, but it was, I think they only had 2 releases out at that point. But we've been, I mean, both Joe and Dave have been in and out of the Amenta in different incarnations of the band, and that band are just are brothers to us. We've been really close friends for a long time, and toured a fair bit with those guys, and it's always exciting to know what's this new fucking album, come on, yep, let's hear it. All right, what do you got now? Fuck, they're still doing this, they're still fucking out of control.
It's amazing. Like the level of syncopation, I'm always like, just like whatever sort of weird rhythms they throw in there is like, God, how are they like that fucking tight? Like it just it's machine like.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I know they're human, but I'm skeptical.
I'm not so sure about that.
Don't go too far.
So all right, I have to ask, and
I do too.
The video. the Twine Towers video, when you told me about the video, because I didn't see it until you sent me the link. It was like, oh, have you checked out the video? And it was like, oh no, it was like, wait, did you eat? I was like, oh, did I? I'll check it out anyway. I'm fine. Okay, well, just if you ate, maybe wait. Okay, I mean, all right. The overall effect of the video is awesome. The maggot. All right, how did you make it through that? Like, I would have lost my shit completely.
Yep.
I've got a long history with maggots. I've worked with them many times. My two favorite animals are probably great white sharks and maggots. They're just both, like, they're so different, but they're just these perfect machines. They're just incredible. Yeah. I'm fascinated by them. I've always found them fascinating. I think as a kid, the first time I was really kind of fascinated by them was in a few Dario Argento films, namely Suspiria and Phenomena.
Oh, I mean,
and they're both of those films have their own moments where there's real visceral kind of maggot-laden experiences that just stuck with me. I've been fascinated with them, and so as a kid, you'd find a dead animal and leave it in the sun for a while to see what happens, and morbid curiosity kind of gets the better of you, and much to the upset of my parents at times. What is this fucking garbage in the shed? Get that fucking out of here! What is this rotting thing in this plastic bag? Fuck!
Science experiment.
Grot. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Science experiment. So yeah, the first time I worked with maggots for a music video was actually my old band Malignant Monster, which was much more of a sort of very sort of aggressive and ugly sort of band.
Sounds great.
I'm very into it.
Yeah.
We did a music video for a song called Back in the Icebox, and the director that kind of ran the show wanted to do a kind of like a horror fan kind of tribute to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, since the song lyrics were inspired by Texas Chainsaw. It was kind of a tip of the hat to something that's been quite a significant sort of visual thing for me since I was a kid, and I still just enjoy it as if it was the first time every time. So
I love that movie.
We had a set constructed for this clip with a pile of dead women kind of laid out with the band playing behind them, and rotting meat everywhere. And yeah, I had an interesting kind of experience getting a little bit overexcited about self-cultivating maggots in my backyard. I decided that because we did 2 different weekends, 2 different shoots, and after the first shoot, I decided to leave all the meat as it was, so that it would have a week in the sun to flourish with new life. And at the time, I was working full time, and I was actually DJing on Friday nights at this late night venue that had a license to stay open until 4 a.m. And so I got home from doing this DJ set, just basically in a club playing extreme music till 4 a.m. or whatever.
That's awesome.
It was fun. It was fun. 2012 that was, and I've got home at some ridiculous hour of the morning, the day before we're supposed to shoot to do the second shoot for this clip, and I open my front door, and there is the biggest, fattest maggot I've ever seen. It was just it's just on the living room floor, just kind of giving it these ones. Wow. And I'm kind of just confronted with this enormous, I didn't know they got that big. It was fucking huge. And I thought,
think when it gets that big, you have to name it.
Let's not think into this too much. Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's a random just anomaly.
Sure. Freak of nature.
It's got nothing to do with the fact that there's a whole fuckload of rotting meat in the backyard, surely. Anyway, I walk into my kitchen, and there's a sliding glass door that goes into the backyard, and this glass door had this enormous mound of maggots that were infiltrating under the glass door and making their way into my kitchen. It's they know where the food source is. It's like they've done the best they can with the rotting meat, and now they want some fresh shit, so they're trying to get into the house. Fucking amazing. But I was faced with the task of, okay, I've got a handful of hours to get this tidied up, because we've got a whole range of lady friends arriving tomorrow who are posing as extras, who are not going to be not as excited as I am about this.
Right.
So I began the task of having to sort this problem out, and the only thing I could think of was, okay, vacuum cleaner. That's
I was just going to say shop vac.
I need a vacuum cleaner. So I grabbed the vacuum cleaner. I'll start with the inside to get that all sorted before my brother gets home, because we were living together at the time. I thought, fuck, I got to sort this kitchen out. He's going to spew if he gets home and sees this shit. But once I'd finished the kitchen, the vacuum bag had pretty much been full, just sorting out the kitchen. So I thought I'll try my luck, opened the sliding glass door and started madly trying to, suck up all this mountain of writhing horror. And this vacuum cleaner is not drawing anymore. It's full. So I think, okay, I've got to shut this door. I've got to find some vacuum bags, and I tear the house apart looking for them, but there are none. That was it. That's the last one. So
I can hear you making noises.
In Perth, Western Australia, at 4 a.m, there's no way you can go to buy vacuum bags. It's just not going to happen. So I began the task of hand sweeping and collecting in just a small group at a time. It was a blanket that covered the entire backyard. Like, they were all over the brickwork. The whole fucking thing was just covered in a big sheet of maggots that had sprawled over everything. So I spent all night just one section by section, sweeping, collecting, to the point where it was minutes before these girls were supposed to arrive for the second shoot, and I'm literally plucking the last remaining maggots out of between bricks in this paved backyard. And they arrived, and I've been awake all night and had to pretend like everything was cool and there's nothing to see here. Let's get on with the show. But so in the actual clip, I'd been awake all night and ended up having to smash a few shots of whiskey just to sort of help me push through the shoot, because I was just brain dead. I needed some kind of stimulation to just help me sort of get through doing a music video shoot. So that was my first experience working with maggots, who didn't even make it to the fucking video. They didn't make it because I had to clean them all up. So I was fucking so upset.
Did you at least take a picture before you cleaned all that shit up?
There was picture, and I did get some footage, which didn't end up getting used in the clip because the quality wasn't good enough. So there were tears. It was a sad time. It was
you put like a filter on there, make it look grainy and filmy. Like, no, it's like it's an art film about maggots.
Yeah. Anyway, we
put
the
French
video
subtitles underneath it, shoot it in black and white. There
may have been a way, but by that point, I just left it with the editor to do what they will, and they said, "Look, I'm not using that." So, all right, it's out of my hands. But it's been with me since then. I have to bring this back. I want to. I love working with them. I want to find some interesting ways in playing with these in a video, and so I brought some in for the Amenta Sear Money clip, which you only see at the end. It's a jar with a mask of my face in the jar, and it's just bloated with these maggots, and they're kind of writhing. And that was kind of like a little introduction to working with them again. And then Twined Towers, I really had this kind of vision of wanting to do something grand using maggots, and there was limitations to what we could do, but I think the effects came out.
I mean,
yeah.
It never left me. It never left me.
Awesome.
After seeing that.
Yes.
But I mean,
Yes,
honestly,
we want.
I can
that was like
I
my
can
favorite
see
song
it
on the
right
album
now
too.
in my
Yeah, no,
mind.
I can totally see it right now. Like, no amount of bleach through the year. I think that's how you wipe out memories, right? Or no, black out drugs. Yeah, no, you do that.
It might work. I've never tried
but also,
it.
it was my favorite song on the album. Like, that was the one that I really kept coming back to the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, the imagery is it fits. It's a dark, twisted song, and yeah, just seeing like mouth full of.
That video was done in 2 separate shoots as well, and that was actually meant to be done in one. And the reason it wasn't was because the maggots that I had for the first shoot, I was very busy. I didn't have time to kind of in advance sort of tidy them up and make sure they were in good health. So they were in a bag, in a Hessian bag with meal for them to eat to keep them going. And I'd noticed that, and they were in my garage undercover, so they weren't, in direct sunlight, which was what had unfortunately foiled my first attempt at cultivating them for that fucking video. They fried in the Australian sun. It was like a 40-degree day, and they fried. They're just completely fried. But this, so I had a new batch ready to go, and I left them in the garage, but I hadn't had time to properly check them and make sure they were, in good health. So it was literally time to rush off to this video shoot. I just grabbed this bag, threw it in the car, race off to this location. And the smell was concerning already. There were concerns that maybe this hasn't gone so well. And then I get to the location, everything's set up. I'm running late. I'm sorry, guys. Had a bit of running around, but here, let's go. I'm just going to sift. I just got to sift these maggots out of their meal so that, they're not all cluttered with this kind of, this crap that will kind of ruin the shot. Only to find that emptying the bag, probably 2/3 of them were dead. And rotten. So there were very few left alive. It was basically just a bag of shit. It was like that's what it smelled like. It smelled like a mixture of rotting meat and shit. That's as close as I can explain what that smelled like. But because this was it was worse once I'd opened the bag in at this location. That was a whole different story. So the directors walking around lighting incense sticks, poking them in all around this fucking area, which didn't really do a whole lot to solve the problem. But we had everything was set up, lights, camera. I'm just going to have a go with what we've got. So I had the first attempt, I basically had a bucket of shit tipped on my face, and then what living ones we could find, we had them dropped on top so that you could, at least see some kind of movement.
Yeah.
But the thing is, maggots go for warmth and they go for dark places. So as soon as they've been tipped on, all they do is crawl down under the rest of the shit, and I'm just left with this garbage, So it was basically a complete misfire. So I was so disappointed with what the footage we ended up with. I just said, look, I'm really sorry to do this to everyone, but I'm going to have to try and reorganize a second attempt, and this time I'll I'll make sure I take the time out to make sure things are arranged properly, and we'll get this done right. And thankfully, I think everyone felt so bad for me having to put myself through that first shoot. They kind of just said, "Look, if you're willing to do this bullshit again, we'll do it." So thankfully, I've got some really amazing friends. So, and the next batch was nice. It was much cleaner. A good friend of mine sat with me, and we used an old fly screen door, had this mountain of maggots tipped onto it, and we were just literally bouncing it up and down, shaking it side to side, trying to sift out all the meal to get a nice clean shot where you can actually just see the bugs moving. So too much effort for, you know, a fucking experimental underground weirdo metal song, but there you go, you know.
I mean, honestly, like, all right, all right, the art of like music videos, it's really not as well like big as it was like when we were younger. That used to be like the thing. Like, well, it's plop your ass down in front of MTV, hopefully Headbangers Ball, and you watch a bunch of cool, you know, maybe very under budget videos, but they were cool because they were gritty and raw. Like, you know, now most of the time you just get like, well, there's the album cover and you're listening to the song. Or
and that was, you know, the golden age where there were, you know, major labels that had money to fund bands and put albums out there and promote them. And, you know, obviously the industry's changed so much. The majority of extreme music is kind of largely DIY now, with bands recording their own albums, shooting their own videos, and it's a whole different beast. But you know, you either sort of give in and sort of throw your hands up and go, "Oh, this is fucked." You know, we haven't got any funding, so what's the point? Or you just
the lyric video,
cultivate a big heap of maggots and
that's the taste of art right
with
there.
Your friends.
Art tastes like maggots.
Yeah.
I saw that. I watched that video at work, and I was just like, "Wow! Oh!"
I told him, like, dude, I watched this. You got to watch it. Those are the rules.
Awesome.
And it was like, dude, did he really do that? It was like, I think so. I think he did.
I didn't swallow any. If that's any, you know,
that's.
I mean,
good.
Yeah, there were no maggots were
like
ingested.
If he had told me I smelled like a couple, I was like, I mean, you know, it feels like a calculated risk.
I didn't swallow any, but they did continuously force their way up my sinuses to the point where I could feel them getting up to about this point, and I have to go, whoa, I think I've got to stop for a second. Oh fuck! Hopefully I got them, and you know, I'd have like 3 up each nostril and be kind of looking at this toilet paper, you know, with maggots crawling around in it, going, fuck, I hope I got them. I think I'm good. All right, let's go again.
Oh my god.
Chop. Let's move.
Dude. I mean, I feel like that's a slow clap moment, you know.
Yeah.
You know, slow clap moments in movies like that. That's it. That's it. Wow.
I did think ahead, and I made custom nose plugs specifically to prevent that problem from happening, so it wasn't like a surprise. Oh, whoops! I wasn't expecting them to want to go up my nose. I knew that they would do it. They would try, but the custom plugs were no use. They still managed to kind of just
inch their way in,
get past them, and I can feel them. I'm like, oh fuck! Their heads are so sharp, really pointy. It's like this pointy little thing that you can feel kind of just digging its way. Not what I was expecting, but you know, the video got finished, so
I mean,
it was a killer video.
It was a killer video. Like it's twisted, it's dark. You know, you guys like some things like you work the color scheme of the album into there too, like with the deep reds and you know, like in like almost like a steely gray. Like that's kind of cool. Like there's again like music videos are kind of a lost art because not many people watch them anymore. You know.
Oh yeah, sadly.
a lyric video will satisfy people unless it's like, you know, a 6 feet under lyric video is like, oh, is that the bullshit he's saying? But
we don't talk about that here.
Oh, well, it seems like it comes up all the time. I mean, Barnes put himself in the fucking crosshairs once again. All he had to do was just shut up, and then he didn't have the ability.
I think he must be enjoying it by this point, or else, you know, we wouldn't hear this anymore. I
don't know. Apparently, like, he just blocks everyone on social media that, you know, comments. I want to say, like, I know people that told him, like, hey, man, I love the last album, and they blocked him on Twitter for it. I was like, wow.
Fuck.
Really?
Wow. Cool.
So, right. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
each to their own.
If Corpse Grinder wasn't on that panel, he wouldn't have said anything. That was the main reason.
Maybe he's under the assumption that bad press is still good, or bad press is still press. I don't know.
I mean, to a degree, I guess you can make that argument, like, because you're still in, like, some limelight. I guess some limelight is better than none. I
guess. I don't know. I would prefer not to be in that hated limelight, but yes. Whatever.
Yeah, some people thrive on negative attention, and I couldn't do that, because I mean, I'm a dick, but I'm generally a cheery dick.
that's yeah.
Yeah, you weren't gonna argue one bit with that.
No, I'm really not. No,
but yeah, like
yeah,
that was kind of a thing like people said about us, like, yeah, you guys don't like do like hard hot takes all the time and just try to piss people off. And it's like, no, I mean, if it is a hard take on anything, it's, you know, it's a genuine feeling. But I'm not out to like irritate anyone except, well, maybe Chris Barnes on that one, but
I mean, we dug pretty deep.
that album was so bad though. But yeah, like the whole idea is like, I think, you know, metal in itself is generally very serious. There's lots of dark themes, like political, psychological, like, you know, death, dying, zombies, apocalypse. The levity, I think, is important. You know, like, just, you know, hey, we have fun with it. You know, we make dark jokes at everything. It's fun. It kind of, you know, keeps the fandom fun.
It was a very entertaining review. It was very entertaining. But yeah, we'll leave that.
Before I forget, that Malignant Monster.
That is, yeah. That's the band. Yeah.
Sweet. Check that out later.
The band didn't release a whole lot, so there was a demo there was a demo or two that were out there that are very kind of rough and a bit, you know, kind of a bit rough around the edges, as we were trying to sort of find our feet, I guess. And we only put out one album and an EP, one full length album and an EP. But the album and the EP are something that I still see value. I see a lot of value in that stuff. It pops up from time to time, and I'll kind of go, "Oh, this would be interesting to see if this is shocking or still okay." And I'll listen and go, "Actually, there's some pretty wild shit going on in there." So, but yeah, more so the later EP and full length Yours in Murder.
To check it out, I literally just looked it up on Metal Archives just to get an overall. It's a black and thrash / death metal. If that's accurate, that already sounds like something I would really, really enjoy. I'm a sucker for black and thrash. Black and thrash is that, I don't know. It's like a fun satanic party to me.
Yeah.
Like, actually, Nocturnal Graves, like one of my favorite black and thrash / death metal acts out of Australia right now. Like, those guys, was it from the bloodline of Cain? That album is just relentless. Like, it is.
I know the name. I'm not sure if I've heard any of their stuff yet, but I know I've seen the name around. But yeah, it's like really I say, I'm very behind.
Yeah, I love that blend. And fusions are that's one of the things, like, it's another appeal to metal. Like, metal is willing to take chances. Like, yeah, let's throw in this influence and make it ridiculously heavy and see if it works. You don't hear that a lot in any other forms of music, you know. I mean,
although
for sure.
Although a dude I work with just introduced me to country rap.
Oh no!
Wow!
Don't do it.
I'm not sure I need to go there.
Don't do it. No one needs to go there.
I was just gonna make like the Blues Brothers reference is like, oh, what kind of music do you guys play here? Oh, we play both kinds, country and western.
Yeah.
Country rap? What are they talking about? Tractors?
It's not. I don't know why he felt the need, like, because I don't pull any punches with what I jam at work. Like I play whatever the fuck I want to play. That's why one of the reasons I took the job was so I could play music. So I played death metal all night and crazy stuff and well, I just jammed the new Voivod like 3 times in a row at work the other night.
Oh, awesome! They're so good.
So I don't know why he felt the need to be like, here's something you might like, and showed me country rap.
Why?
Wow.
What sort of vibe were you giving off? It was like, you know what? He might like country rap. Like you had to have done. Were you wearing a large belt buckle?
I was not.
And a backwards hat. Yeah.
In fact, I was jamming
also a gigantic fucking steer.
He had a button-up shirt tucked in with a big belt buckle and a backwards hat, like Fred Durst.
Backwards hat, chaps. Boots with assless chaps. Yep.
You were in spurs on some Nike fucking high tops.
Yep. All right, dog. Let's do this. Tip my cowboy hat.
What's up, y'all dogs?
Oh fuck! Wow,
it's something, but it's don't do it. Don't do it. I took a bullet for everyone here. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that shit existed until you said something.
Well, it exists. Don't go there.
It doesn't
that is
sound
the story of me.
Like good at all. Like I don't even like. I'm all for genres like kind of like meeting up and like, hey, let's see if this works out. But those two just seem like no, like that's not gonna work. Like, drinking gin and juice at a hoedown.
Yeah. Right.
I'm convinced I can live without that. I think that's one thing I can live without.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks for all of you. Thanks for the hot tip. I appreciate
it. Scouting ahead.
The hot take.
I would have hated to
stumble into that, Yeah. Like a trooper.
No, I'm good. I think the closest I will get to rap and metal is Body Count and Stuck Mojo.
Yeah.
Body Count. So Body Count's supposed to be working on a new album, and I'll buy it because if I don't, I think Ice-T will fucking threaten me. I was like, listen, why didn't you buy my album? You bought all the other ones, punk. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I'll go get it.
My bad.
Body Count, fucking solid. So solid.
Dude.
Especially the more recent stuff. Like they just,
oh my God, dude. Like,
fuck.
I don't necessarily like the early stuff. Like, I have the early stuff, but it was
more kind of novelty.
Back.
It's fun. It's kind of it's pretty out there. It was a bit of a novelty thing for the time, and you enjoy that kind of crossover. But then they became like serious business, and very cool.
Yeah, the last 3 have been like really fucking good. Like, and because I bought it when they came back, I was like, all right. I mean, this is fun. This is gonna be fun regardless. But then I heard, I was like, dude, this is like really good. And I think one of the guitarists he got, because he still had Ernie C, but he got one of the dudes from Evil Dead, which is like a Bay Area.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And he got some solid musicians in there. I was like, dude, way to fucking go.
Much more impressive than what he's doing on TV. Big time.
Yeah. What is he doing on TV? Is he still in Law and Order something or other, Special Victims?
Criminal
is that the one he's
in? I don't know.
I don't know if it's still. I was at a friend's house recently and they have TV, and I saw something that looked like it could be very, very recent with him on Law and Order or whatever that. And it was a little bit sad, a little bit on the not so impressive side. But Body Count, fucking killing it.
Oh yeah, cool. Dude. I think it was over at my ma's, and she watches what's it called, like Me TV. It's essentially just like programs from like the 70s and the 60s, and she gets to relive all the stuff that she grew up watching, and all the advertisements are designed for elderly people. It's like a lot of Joe Namath talking about getting extra health insurance, or like I've fallen and I can't get up, I have this neck buzzer thing,
adult diapers and all the rest.
Yep. And Ice-T was in one of the commercials. I was like, I mean, there had to be a paycheck. So, I mean, oh man, Ice, I don't want to see you like this, dude. Unless you're threatening people that listen, if you don't get this fucking insurance, I'm gonna fucking shoot you. It was like,
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
done. Got it.
That I'd
Weird.
like to see. That would be very, very fun. Buy these adult diapers or I'll pop a cap in your ass, motherfucker. Kind of.
I mean, we know he can do it. Like literally, like every body count lyric is him threatening the living fuck out of someone. Whoever's on the receiving end of those lyrics, he does not like that person at all.
They're going to likely need to seek protection and or legal counsel.
So, like, all right, outside of like music, like, do you have like any like other influences, like, kind of go into music, like people getting inspired by like movies and like books, comics? I mean, you know, influence seems to kind of come from all over the place here lately.
A lot of stuff that you know, a lot of more extreme metalhead friends probably regard as very fruity, through to some of the, you know, most ugliest kind of horrific bands out there. So yeah, I listen to a lot of stuff. Vocal wise, actually, one thing that was really interesting when you guys reviewed Revelator, any of the vocal references of artists that you've kind of made some kind of connection with were all artists that I don't actually know a lot about at all. So it was actually just really interesting for me because I'm kind of listening, going, shit, really? Okay, I should check that. I guess I should check that out. Yeah, really, really weird. It was really some really surprising things on there. Yeah, really cool. But I probably listen to more these days. To be honest, I probably listen to a lot more rock and kind of blues and non-extreme stuff than I do actually listening to the more extreme stuff. But I still come back to things, you know. It's a very but very, you know, wide variety of music. A lot of very experimental stuff, a lot of instrumental stuff. What have I been listening to lately? Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Goblin, actually, a lot of soundtrack stuff, which is quite a common thing for me. A lot of 70s progressive stuff, dirtier kind of 80s stuff, all over the place. You'd have to kind of name a band and say, what about this? What do you think of them? And I'll give you a yes or no. Or
I mean, honestly, it's kind of the same with me. Like, because there's obviously a fuck ton of extreme stuff here, but I mean, there's a lot of Depeche Mode because I adore Depeche Mode. Duran Duran, ELO. I think ELO is one of the most brilliant bands ever. I'm actually doing a deep dive on Killing Joke, which I've been a diehard fan since. God, man, like when I was a teen. That was a long time ago. Jesus. But I think you got to have stuff that breaks it up. Otherwise, you just get in this kind of like cluster of extreme shit, and it's like all of it's kind of blending together in this, you know, crazy shit in my head right now.
I grew up on a lot of blues and progressive kind of 70s rock and hard rock and a lot of these kind of realms, which have just always stuck with me. I don't have much time away from any of that stuff ever, really. There's definitely been times where I've been a lot more deeply plunged into more modern extreme stuff, but it's really all over the place. The last thing I listened to was actually a project that Neil Schon did many years ago with Schon and Hammer. They only did two albums together, but it's kind of this proggy, hooky, riffy, synthy kind of mess of a project that probably didn't really fit in anywhere when that came out. But I love the old Journey stuff. There's a lot of really tough kind of even aggressive hooks. Steve Smith is such an aggressive player. Neil Sean's such a dangerous guitarist. Like even when they're writing, even in their more kind of sweeter, more sort of beautiful songs, his leads always have this kind of edgy sort of dangerousness to them, and more often than not, his riffs do as well, especially in the more up tempo kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff out there. I don't discriminate unless it's country rap. That's kind of probably
you should.
Might be the first time I go, ooh, I'm not sure if I'm that adventurous.
That's a hard no there, bud.
Yeah, outside of that, there's not a lot that I won't entertain. The notion of maybe there's some little nugget of something worth checking out here. Like
I don't see a nugget there. I don't see a nugget.
There's not. Yeah,
nuggets.
There's no nuggets, and if there are, it's fecal matter, and I'll steer clear of that.
Yeah.
Step around that. Okay.
It's the fact that he cornered me at work. It's not like I could walk away. It's like, here, you're stuck here. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Do you just force the earbuds in your head? Like, yes, listen.
I gave it about 14 seconds and then walked away. Well, I gotta go do this. I'm gonna go.
Did you just look at him like, dude, you can just tell me you don't like me. Like you didn't have to give me you don't like me the musical.
If you just tell me to go fuck myself, that's great. I'll go.
This is kind of the long way around this.
Yeah. You mentioned early on that you wanted to discuss some of the underground Australian stuff. If that's something you're interested in, I ran to my collection just before jumping on here, swiped a bunch of random stuff. My CDs are all a mess at the moment. They're in stacks around the house and in my car, and it's a bit of a disaster. So I didn't, forgive me any significant artists that I couldn't find releases or whatever, but
no, you're fine.
I've grabbed a handful of shit if you want to look at some titles, some bands of the Australian scene. I'm going to miss a lot because, as I said, I've been out of the picture. I haven't been touring since 2013, so
whoa,
oh wow,
and since then it's just been basically kind of I've been buried in Amenta stuff and not really as kind of switched on to the Australian music scene as I should be, but there's always time. Well, first, representing one of my good West Australian friends. I don't know if you've come across this band before, but
I have an album.
Awesome, nice, good work. Any of their stuff is worth checking out. It's now a one-man machine. He plays drums, sings, and writes and records most of their stuff now. It's kind of a one-man project, and he plays live as a one-man death machine. So he's on stage with just backing tracks, playing drums, and just screaming and growling his head off. It's quite a spectacle. And it sounds kind of crazy, like I don't know how that would work. That could be a bit awkward, but then you see it and you go, shit, okay, yeah, all right, that's you got me. I
was gonna say, I know Putrid Pile is just a guitarist and his drum machine. He literally has it's set up next to him. He just riffs out. So that's kind of like the flip of that, which is interesting.
It's the flip, yeah.
I'm 1 for 1 so far. So let's see if you got.
Okay, so the Führer. Right. Louis and I have played in numerous bands over the years, and he's someone that's it's always good to see his new material pop up and see he's still fucking out there killing it. I'm glad you're 2 steps ahead of me there. I've just got a random pile of stuff here, so I've got them in kind of stacks of genre-ish something.
Okay.
So if we want to, we'll talk avant-garde, kind of very dark, atmospheric black metal kind of stuff.
Okay.
Interested to know what stuff you guys have already are aware of, and what's kind of underground Australian stuff that you haven't caught on to yet.
Are we going to New Zealand too? Because it was like, isn't Ulcerate from New Zealand and not Australia?
Ulcerate, yeah, from New Zealand, yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic, brilliant band.
God.
Great. We've done a few shows with those guys in the past, and yeah, awesome guys, amazing band. They just keep putting out. It's just always quality. It's always quality.
Their last one was absolutely brilliant.
For sure. Fuck yeah. So these guys are a mix of Australian / UK guys, but still, we regard them as falling under the Australian banner. These guys, Ackercock, who you've
dude,
be aware of.
Yep.
Oh, I'm aware of Ackercock. I don't own any of their stuff, but I've been listening to them for years on samplers.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. Well, for anyone out there hasn't
Spotify
heard
random
them,
lists.
some creepy, some pure evil. Then that's
well written. Like there's a lot of cool dynamics in their songwriting. Like they like to throw like a loop every now and then and just kind of like weird you out with a weird transition, but they make sure it's nice and evil.
Oh, evil as shit. It's really, it doesn't get a whole lot more evil than this band. Yeah. So this is Words That Go Unspoken, Deeds That Go Undone. Amazing album, fantastic band. If you're into your pure evil, then really cool. Some more black avant-garde kind of weirdo stuff. A bandmate who used to play drums in the Amenta. This band is called Norse. This is one EP they put out a while ago. They've done some amazing stuff since then. I just don't know where all my shit is at the moment, so I'm just grabbing random discs. But Norse. If you haven't heard their more recent stuff, well worth checking out. If you like the avant-garde sort of dark.
Yep. No, I've heard. I listened to them because they're on Transcending Obscurity, I believe now.
Okay. That that quite possibly
are one of our favorite dissonant loving death doomy subscribers we're friends with, Joshua Coe. I'm definitely gonna leave that in because he recommends some of the darkest stuff on the planet, and he recommended Norse, and it was like, holy shit, this is kind of crazy sounding. So Robin Stone, the drummer for that band, he did a lot of work for a long time with Amenta, and is still doing amazing things, doing a lot of session work for bands all over the planet. He's just an absolute weapon machine that just keeps too productive. How can one person be doing that many projects at a time? I don't know, but a lot of cool stuff. And Norse is a real special Australian band, I think. Very underground, aren't heard about as much as they should be, but worth checking out. I'm glad again you guys are ahead of me. You're there. I don't own anything by that. What's this?
This is more of the kind of black side of things. Is Ruins from Tasmania.
I have some of their stuff.
Yep.
This album, Front the Final Foes, it's one of many amazing albums. Tour mates, brothers, amazing humans.
Nice.
That's another one of Dave's projects.
Shit, he was in there?
Dave, Joe has done a lot of work in that band as well.
I'm gonna listen to more of them.
I have a couple of those albums actually. I might have that one. I'm waiting for my Windows Media Player to boot up here so I can double check. It beats just there's a whole other room full of CDs over there.
Yeah. And it's that doesn't, what he just said doesn't do it justice. There's floor to ceiling CDs in that other room, and they
don't have a problem.
The whole room, like every wall. It's something else.
Front the Final Foes. I have a Place of No Pity too.
Also brilliant album. The Ruins don't really mess up. It's just when they finally put out a new album, there's seems to be fair gaps between releases, but when they put one out, you just go, ooh, here we go. You know, it's going to be worth checking out always. So
very heavy, very riffy. Like you could almost call it blackened death metal in spots. I love riffy black metal. Like, that's generally that's where I lurk in terms of black metal. Like if it's very riff oriented, like not just sort of a wall of distance and atmosphere. Like I like that, but give me a riff. Like I need a hook that comes back.
Yeah, they are very riffy, and I love that about that band as well. Big time. That actually brings me to talking more about more experimental sort of noise based kind of stuff. There's a project which is brainchild of Alex Pope from Ruins. It's quite an underground thing, but he's put out a couple of releases of this project. It's electronic, experimental, and it is super creepy. Wonderfully creepy. It's a project called. It's deliberately kind of misspelt, and he's using the Celtic Frost font.
Yeah.
But the band is called Threshold Firm, but it's spelt with an F instead of TH.
Threshold.
And this there's a few releases. I think this is one that you'd really need to go to Bandcamp to dig this up. But some very dark social commentary, political commentary. It's haunting. It's really haunting, creepy stuff. So if that's your thing, which it's not everyone, you know, it's not easy listening. It's not, you know.
Well, I mean, we did get thrust into a nightmarish realm when we reviewed both Portal albums. Oh my god, dude!
Right? Yeah, and I mean that's heavily guitar and drum driven stuff. This is actually not even metal. This is more electronica /
I think the
Hagbalbia kind of stuff that just.
I think Hagbalbia, the second part to Portal. Yeah, I've never listened to it again.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is another bunch of previous members of the Amenta. It's another very kind of hidden underground project called Host.
Okay.
Which I think again is probably a Bandcamp thing. I'm not sure how accessible they are, because this is very experimental, kind of. It's all about atmosphere and dark experimentation. But yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, yeah, I love Host. I'm always excited whenever they put out a new release. Amazing. Experimental dark underground stuff. While we're on that line of thinking, these guys you may have heard of. The band is called Halo, and it's just really suffocating. Suffocating is probably a good word. Really suffocating, crushing, super just distorted, noisy as fuck, crushing, kind of experimental death noise, I guess, something like that. If you haven't heard any Halo, that's a really great Australian band from late 90s, early 2000s.
What year did that come out?
So this particular release, I think this was like 2003. This one was 2003. Yeah, it
was on Relapse. I might have. It might be on one of the Contaminated samplers.
That's a possibility.
Yep.
So that's it. 2003.
Yeah. If it's Relapse, it might be on one of those Contaminated things.
Very possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to look at a little bit of more death metal side of things,
always
there, of course. I'm sure. This is a band that you would surely have to have come across, and it's a band that's another one of those
Blood
gifts
Duster
that keep on giving. Blood Duster, killer groove death metal,
grindy
ugliness,
Yep.
Fuck everything. Just yeah.
That is
Obviously,
100% accurate.
You've been there. Yeah,
Right,
cool.
right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have some blood duster for sure.
This is a more of a, they kind of this band gets lumped into the deathcore category because I guess at the root of this band, that's kind of a pretty significant element in this band. Deathcore isn't something I'm really familiar with a lot of. It's not something I've really listened to a lot of, but this band definitely steps outside of cookie cutter. Like it's not cookie cutter deathcore. It's actually ferocious, brutal, punishing material. I've been very happy to be brought on board to do guest vocals for a song on this release, and I think one or two other releases of theirs. The band is called Sensory Amusia.
Oh, I don't know that
and
one.
I don't know that either.
And yeah, this release, I did do guest vocals on one song, in a section of one song, and yeah, it's just very, very aggressive, neck breaking kind of stuff.
We hate that stuff.
Yeah. You'll absolutely hate it. Yeah.
Oh god.
Right.
I mean, I'm more into country rap.
You're gonna be up there with country rap. Yeah. Sure.
Shit. So you beat me to Cycroptic with your hoodie, so I don't really need to introduce you to those guys, obviously. But yeah,
guys.
just Cycroptic.
Yeah. Oh
Yep.
god.
And that's such a killer fucking album.
I mean, well,
It is.
I mean, honestly, it's the earlier stuff that I think it's still good, but the vocals didn't quite work. And then when the vocals settled in, the music was already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just expand on every release. Is they expand to new territory, and just keep reinventing themselves, but always sounding like that band that you love. The first, the early stuff.
You can pick out those
really
crawling riffs all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're so distinct.
Joe has different characters, or at least this is how I kind of think of Joe. Is he's got these different personas. So when he's playing guitar, he's Sneaky Joe. That's that. I think of him as Sneaky Joe because his riffs are always sneaky. They're always crawling, and he just when you think you know what he's going to do, he flips shit upside down and fucks you over, and fuck you, sneaky bastard. It's Sneaky Joe when he's on stage. He's Sneaky Joe. When he's drunk, he's Evil Joe.
Oh.
And I don't think he drinks at all anymore, or if he does, it's very, very rare. But every now and then there's these little magic moments where you get to see Evil Joe, and you see this kind of this glint of evil just kind of sparkles in his eyes, and you're like, oh shit, shit's going down.
He's
not over here.
Yeah. And when we're like on the tour bus or whatever, he's usually what I refer to as Comfy Joe, because he likes comfort. He likes to be very comfortable. He's always got comfortable clothes. He it's always hoodies and track pants, and just comfort is his number one priority. When he's not being sneaky or evil, he's comfortable. And that's the three faces of Joe.
I get the comfort, man. I'm rocking my Possessed Seven Churches jogger sweatpants right now.
Yep, I have my incantation sweatpants on.
Awesome.
And,
it's the way to go.
Bunny slippers. So,
fuck yeah. More aggressive Australian stuff. Surely you would have heard of these guys. These guys were a big kick in the ass to me as a kid. So this is Damaged. And if you haven't heard any of these guys' stuff, you must check out their early releases. Pretty much any of their old stuff. They're not around anymore. It's just like having the shit kicked out of you. At least that's what it felt like as a kid. First hearing Damage for the first time, I just went, fuck, what is going on? I feel like I need to slow this down to sort of take it all in, like just a lot going on at once, very frantic, very kind of maniacal, aggressive. Matt Skitz, the drummer, I've played a bunch of shows with him in other bands that he's been behind the kit with, and I toured with one of his bands once, Australian tour. Just a champion guy, and every band that he seems to get behind the kit is well worth checking out. And Damaged are a really seminal kind of part of underground Australian metal history, really. So if you haven't heard any Damaged, there's a gift, something you haven't heard yet that you'll enjoy.
You got me on that one. I mean, it says like essentially death grind, and like, well, okay.
Well, right. Death grind, right. Okay.
Yeah. So and this album, Token Remedies Research, is no exception. 1997. They were just amazing kind of train wreck of a death grind outfit. Yeah, crushing, amazing. Very cool.
Grind.
Wow.
All
right. I'm stoked.
You guys, hey, what's that?
I said I'm stoked.
Fuck yeah! You got some exciting homework to look forward to.
Yep.
We'll swap some links for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys would have heard of this band.
So this was it. Sadistic Execution.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. I have not. I don't own any of their stuff, but I've definitely heard of them.
So these guys, they'd seem to do really well in Europe because in most times touring Europe, and we talk to people that want to say, I listen to some Australian bands. They often seem to be fans of Sadistic Execution, and you'll see patches on at some shows. Sadex patches. These guys were just completely mental. This album, I remember hearing this as a kid and just thinking, this kind of feels like something I don't want my parents to find out that I'm listening to. So you're kind of turning it down like, oh shit, this is, if my parents hear me listening to this, they're kind of dealing with the stuff that I'm listening to, but then listening to that, it was one of those moments where you're kind of like, oh shit, maybe I'd keep this a bit of a secret for a while. But just very, just ugly, vicious, just vomitous kind of no fucks given, dark, aggressive, old school death, old school black, old school thrash elements kind of twisted into this just very aggressive.
I'll drink some of that fucking Kool-Aid.
It's a fucking nightmare, but it's riffs and it's fucking aggressive, fast-paced, drums, and they used to do some pretty wild things. Like I remember hearing a story about them in Sydney back in the day, pulling stunts, like just starting a fight in a public space, like between band members, and actually just starting a fight, beating the piss out of each other just to create a massive commotion. And some wild shit. Like these guys were doing some wild shit. It was cool. And yeah, you some more good times for you guys to enjoy later on.
Yeah.
All right.
And you will.
I'm definitely gonna dive in.
Yeah. This is a band that actually just put out a new album, which I don't actually have a copy of, but this is an older one, which was a little bit more of a sort of DIY sounding production, but amazing band, and the new album is fucking killer. But the band is called Flatus. Yes, it's actually a band called Flatus, as in
Flatus, like farts.
Yeah.
That's my favorite pastime.
And these guys are just like, yeah. Who doesn't love farts, you know?
Broken people
But yeah,
don't love farts.
these guys, the new album is just this amazing kind of, it's like kind of somewhere between old Carcass and Autopsy, with some odd surprises that kind of creep in and out of this journey throughout the album. Flatus, the new album, you can find them on Bandcamp, I'm sure, if not on your other platforms, but that was a recent surprise that really kind of made me remember why I used to listen to, like, you know, one of those bands that reminds you, oh fuck, that's right, I love death metal, I forgot, but holy fuck, these guys are just totally reminded me how much I love death metal. And the last one of the death stack is a band called, you may not be able to see that.
No.
I'll try.
No, almost.
No chance.
Nope.
You can sort of, anyway, they're called Iniquitous Monolith. And they started out kind of, and this is another band, most of these Australian bands are guys that I've either played in bands with or have just been mates with for a long time. And these guys, the guitarist who writes the majority of this stuff, I played in bands with him for years. And this started off as kind of almost just for fun kind of thing. It was a slam project where they're using, you know, traditional kind of slam tropes and horror samples and stuff like that. Not trying to reinvent the wheel, just going, hey, we love this stuff. It's dumb, it's horror, it's fun, and let's just,
we love devourment, we love dying fetus.
Sure, yeah. But what started out as kind of a bit of a just playful kind of attempt at, you know, basically tried and true slam death metal, they actually progressed into something really actually quite unique and atmospheric and horrifying. I'm still waiting for them to put out a new release that shows how they've kind of developed, but seeing those guys live a couple of years ago, after not hearing about them for a while, I saw them play a show and was actually just completely absorbed by this horror, like really dark, really technically advanced drum work and really wild techie guitar stuff, but not tech death for the sake of being technical, actually reining it in and going, I want this to actually have really he's really started tailoring this stuff around atmosphere, not just widdly you know, shit. It's actually he's really kind of reined it in. So Iniquitous Monolith are one to keep an eye out for sure. I've got 3 more discs laying here. This is more, actually, this, as you mentioned Black Thrash before. Black and Thrash. These guys, if you haven't heard them, were worth checking out as well. Australian band Bloodlust.
Oh, I already like the album cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Killer, like everything you want in Black and Thrash is all happening there. Really cool. Louis from the Führer, he plays or at least has played in and out of that band. I'm not sure what the lineup is at the moment. I haven't seen them for a while, but amazing band. Each release just gets better. So that's kind of more thrash sort of, you know, end of things. And then if we go to more crossover kind of thrash, there's a couple of titles here. There's a band called Mind Snare.
I've heard of Mind Snare.
I've heard of them too. I've never heard it.
Yeah.
really like this album. So Hanged, Choked, Wrists Slit is this one, and
Super Tuesday.
it's
Yeah.
it's a bad time. Really it's just fast, just ripping your head off. Like I saw them the last time I saw them. They were, I think it was actually in Melbourne many years ago, supporting Creator. They were the main support for Creator, and I thought, fuck, this is going to be cool seeing. I hadn't seen them for years, so I didn't know they were even still around at the time. So that was just a cool bonus thing. So I'm kind of like, oh, this will be interesting. I wonder what Mind Snare are like now. And they blew me away. Really, just badass. And this is one. This is actually a Western Australian band that's not around anymore. But these guys are a lot more punkier kind of end of the spectrum. But when I say punk, I mean like ugly, disgusting, unclean,
That's how
bad
punk should be.
news. Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The term punk just has so many negative connotations these days because it's gone through so many transitions and different subgenres and all this stuff. So when you're talking
Machine
about
Gun Kelly's
extreme
ruining it again.
Ugh.
No, crust punk. I usually just say, it's crust. You just say crust. Oh, okay, D-beat, and it's filthy sounding, and it's awesome.
These guys, they went through. They did a whole bunch of different releases over the years while they were around, and they went through a few different sort of stages of sound, but it was always unclean and just dirty and fucking ugly. Really cool. All the the things you want. But that's the stack that I managed to scrape together very quickly before I jumped on.
That's good.
So
that's a great stack.
I didn't take notes now because I'll be like editing this and like I'm gonna go over each one that I didn't have, and they're like, I'm gonna write that down. And we got this wonderful little site here called Metal Detector that has a K in there. Yeah, it pretty much searches all the U.S. distros, and if they have a distro that actually has, because unfortunately getting stuff from across the pond, man, the shipping is rough. And my last experience, I got the new Fulci, and it took
like 5 months.
About 5 months. 5 months to get here.
Wow. Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah, but so I've been hitting up US distros because they do get stuff in occasionally, and there's enough of them too. So, but I'm definitely going hunting. I mean, the Bloodlust one already. Yeah, as soon as you say if you love Black Thrash, like yes, that's me.
Yeah, awesome.
Who likes Black Thrash?
You'll love
that guy.
It's legit one of my favorite fusions. There's just something about it. It's like I get all the evil I could ever want, but I get all the fucking fast riffs and just like thrashy aggression, like smashing beer cans on your forehead and like hitting shit with a baseball bat, kind of fun. Except the bat has like upside down crosses on it, and you're chugging goat's blood or something. That's how we party here in Toledo. We're wild, man.
I know. I've heard all about it. I know. I got to drop by sometime. We'll have some.
If you ever find yourself in Toledo, first off, I'm sorry.
First off,
I don't know how you got here, but there's so many other interesting places to go that aren't Toledo. But yeah, if you're ever in Toledo, man, I'll fucking put you up. I'll let you fucking check out the collection, shoot the shit metal, and
your mum can shout at me. Your mum can yell at me as well.
I mean, well, we do yell at everyone here, but yeah, I mean, if you're ever in the Midwest, dude, there ain't much
here. The tri-state area,
But
if I'm ever allowed to leave my state,
right. If you're ever allowed to leave,
we'll see
ever again.
See.
I hope that's the case. But yeah, if you're in Detroit, we'll grab food and
Oh, dude.
Actually, one of the most memorable shows that I remember playing with the Amenta was actually in Detroit. it was a show. So the tour was Vader were headlining with it was a huge bill of bands. It was Vader, Decrepit Birth, us, Augury from Canada, amazing progressive death metal. I love that band.
Yep.
Actually, I'm working on a project with Matthew Marcotte from Augury. I won't give too much away, but yeah, it's got a lot of old school kind of feel about it in a thrash sense, but it's that progressive kind of unhinged kind of thrash thing. It's somewhere between like
Watchtower.
I haven't I haven't heard a lot of Watchtower, but if you think kind of, you know, the first Annihilator album meets like Sadist.
Oh, Sadist,
you know,
dude.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in that kind of field, or maybe Voivod-ish, Coroner.
I mean,
ish. Like
dude,
there's a few elements going on, but it's got this kind of very genuine, dark, melodic, kind of aggressive, unhinged kind of thrash vibe about it. So that's been really fun.
That's cool.
Working on that. The band name is Tellurian Agony. It's a side project. He'd composed a release and just said, "Hey, the songs are complete. I just need someone. I just need a voice over this." And I could kind of imagine you doing something that would work and complement this. I think this could be a really cool thing. So trying to sort of tie that up at the moment. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, I've derailed. What was I saying? So yeah, we were touring. Vader, Decrepit Birth, Warbringer were another one on that tour.
Man, wow, missed that one. Fuck.
How did we miss that?
Yeah, well, this was 2009, so it's a while ago. But it was a pretty wild tour. One of the most memorable shows was actually this show in Detroit, where I think what had happened was the venue had cancelled at the last minute. So there was and there was whoever was booking this was scrambling at the last minute to try and find a new venue. So there was this last minute swap over of venues, and I'm not sure how many people knew where this show was, because we ended up, all these bands showed up to this venue. Forgive me, I can't remember what the name of the place was, but we were probably playing to about 40 people max.
Wow.
Like if that. And sometimes when you're kind of faced with a surprise like that and you just go, fuck, what are we going to do here? You just kind of throw caution to the wind and just give up and go, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just have fun. And it ended up being one of the most fun shows in that tour, because the bands everyone kind of just went, oh, whatever. Let's just get up there and just destroy. And it ended up being just so much fun. And the small amount of people that were at that show were all just, it was kind of like this really exclusive kind of feeling, like, fuck, just us here. No one else even knows this is happening. And all these bands are just decimating this venue. And yeah, we had a blast. So yeah, Detroit was good fun.
Honestly, like, we see a ton, like Detroit does have some solid venues. I mean, Harpo's, I really wish it was like in any other neighborhood. That whole neighborhood is like a militarized zone. Like, but it's a great venue. Like, it's an old classic venue. Like, it was built with acoustics in mind.
Right. Yeah.
But again, like the last time I was there, I think we saw like Phil Anselmo was doing a set of like all Pantera stuff, and that was really cool. We parked next to a house that had an entire tree growing through it in the middle of urban Detroit. Yeah.
That is the best. I want that.
Oh yeah.
I want to have
the tree was the only resident in that house, and I don't think it was paying rent or taxes or anything. But
I can assure you it wasn't paying taxes.
Rebel tree.
The Fillmore is great. Both the Majestic Theater and the Magic Stick, which Black Dahlia Murder if you're familiar with those guys, the song Necropolis, the one that was in the bowling alley. Yeah, right above that bowling alley in the same building is a venue they fucking play pretty often.
Yeah.
And
Right. Yeah. Oh, I played with Black Dahlia Murder in Australia a couple of times, and actually the vocalist
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor. The last time I played a show with them was with my old band Malignant Monster. I caught up with them for a little while, and he was drinking this tea. And I asked, what have you got there? And he was like, dude, this tea is fucking awesome. I never go on tour without like boxes of this particular tea. Let me make you one. I'll make you one. You got to try this shit. And so he went and made me this tea. And it supposedly supports vocal health. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I loved this shit so much that as soon as I got home, I just ordered a shit ton of boxes of this stuff to my house because as a vocal coach, so I do a lot of working one-on-one with other vocalists, breaking down techniques and sort of demystifying vocal technique. And so I have this shit stocked up so that I can sort of, offer it to students when I'm working with them. And I just like drinking it before doing studio sessions or rehearsing or whatever. So, but yeah, Trevor, fucking absolute champion. Black Dahlia, killer band, total fucking warhorse of a band that's just like, they just don't fucking get tired. Like just.
I think like someone actually brought it down like to like how they're able to do what they do. Like I guess they practice and rehearse so much that by the time it comes down to the studio, they're ready to go. Like they're not in there very long because they have everything pretty much planned out, and then it's off to the fucking road. And I mean, those guys tore their dicks off. Like, ridiculous.
And that's the way. It's the ideal way of working. That's one thing that has always been. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse because, often limitations can put you in situations where you kind of have to think outside of the box to kind of move forward. And so with the Amenta, we've definitely had no shortage of that. But at the same time, it's kind of frustrating because in Australia, it's such a vast island that, it's hours between cities. So you can't, and because of none of us live in the same city, we don't have that leisure of meeting up at someone's house to rehearse every week or at a studio to rehearse, or for us writing an album is constant, just back and forth emails, and then once a year or maybe twice a year I might fly to either, like for Revelator, it was kind of back and forth between flying to London and Sydney to work on pre-production for that. And that's largely why that album took so long. It's tricky, and touring is super fucking expensive to do it here because you can't just jump in a van and rattle off a big fuckload of shows. It's like, you got to plan out this handful of shows that have flights between cities, and it's just it's kind of bullshit. And that's why we kind of took a step back in 2013 and said, look, fuck this, let's just write a new album. But yeah, I'm jealous. I envy guys like that just have that attitude of just fucking make it piss, fucking get out there, more shows, album show. Like, I wish we could do that.
And they still have fun with it too. Like you'd almost think they'd be burnout. Like there's definitely some bands who's like, you guys, do you have a home? Like, because I don't think you're ever there. But they still love it. I mean, Trevor he's a giant fanboy too, which like he loves all things metal. He collects rare T-shirts and the CDs, and I think occasionally vinyl. He's mostly a CD guy, which props. But like I think it was like one of the DVDs. Like he just like wandered up drunk to someone in Sweden that was rocking an old school left hand pass sweatshirt, like not a hoodie, but like
Oh, wow.
just a standard neck sweatshirt, and it's like, is that OG? If that's OG, you get like a lot of money for that. And then he just sauntered off, finished his drink. Like, dude, when my brother-in-law met Trevor, he didn't know he met Trevor. Like, we went to a show. He was rocking a Neurosis shirt, had the ring of sickles on it, and Trevor just walked up drunk and was like, nice shirt. That shirt fucking rules. And then he's gone. And it was like, he was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, that was Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder. I was like, well, luckily his set's over because he is fucking smashed. But yeah, he's a giant fanboy. Like, I talked to him about like lumberjack themed thrash metal bands before. Yeah, he just loves that shit. He came all the way down to Toledo just to see Suffocation play in a rainy day club. Yeah, I was like, awesome. I had the time off. I want to see Suffocation because they actually had Frank on tour with them, and that was an amazing show.
Actually, two out of the 4 times I've seen Suffocation has been with Frank. So
only I saw them in Australia once, many years ago, with Frank. Fucking just dangerous as you could possibly has hoped. Just one of those bands, like always good.
Oh yeah.
Too badass.
Consistently good.
Actually, I remember I was working at a rehearsal studio at that time, and I remember the promoter of that tour, one of the promoters, was asked by the guys, guitarist and bass player, we really need a room to blast these tracks to just do some last minute rehearsals before this gig. And so they came out to this rehearsal studio in this shitty industrial area that I was working in, and just locked themselves in this room and just sat there for a couple of hours just drilling Suffocation songs. And then, yep, cool, yeah, we should be right for tomorrow. I just thought, fuck, like you're playing in kind of bumfuck nowhere, Perth, Western Australia, with, there is a metal scene that's never had a chance to see Suffocation play before. So you guys could just kind of waltz out and hung over and just knock something out and it would be fine. But even still, they're just, total pro. We feel like we'd like to, put in a couple of hours just in case and get super, super tight. And yeah, I just remember thinking that was really impressive. Like they're just really pro.
So, all right, anything this year that's come out so far that you've been like just fucking hyped on? Because I mean, well, we review a fuck ton of music, obviously.
Actually, I saw you reviewing the new Napalm, which got me very excited because I still haven't heard it yet. But I'm a wild listen fan, so that's one thing that I'm looking forward to hearing that's come out this year. But outside of that, yeah, I've been living under a rock for a while, so I tend to miss a lot of things. And my apologies to any bands that I wish I could have brought something to the table. I was very sort of rushed throwing this together. So
no, you got some good ones. No, like I was really hoping you'd have like a copy of Disembowelment, because I rarely ever see physical copies of that CD. Just because every Death Doom nut out there is like, oh my god, that Disembowelment. I was like, I know, I've listened to it on YouTube, and then I go to Discogs and I see how much people want for it, and then I go, fuck, come on.
Fuck. Yeah, that shit is crazy. Crazy fucking collectors just making it impossible to get hold of things that were once not a problem.
Honestly, it seems like, I mean, if there's limited runs of almost any album here lately, within minutes, like if you manage to get it, for the asking price on like Maggot Stomp. Maggot Stomp's a really great small label here. They've been kicking out tons of killer death metal, but it seems like whenever you get stuff off there, whenever they're out, the Discogs price. Like I bought, I think it was 200 Sad Wounds debut EP. Within a few weeks, I bought it for like, I think $10. It was going for like 35 on Discogs. Like, dude, it's like 12 minutes of music, but it's great. But dude, like you're gouging people. That's not even cool.
Yeah, there's a Perth band who formed, I think, in the mid to late 80s, called Vanadium, who were pretty active in their day. They were playing a lot of shows back then, and then sort of folded. And this band was old school thrash, basically old school thrash, very hooky, headbang material. They did I think they only did one album, maybe a demo or something, and this album kind of just disappeared. As the band's kind of been away for many years, that album became sort of disappeared in the sands of time. But then you fast forward to 2020 or 2019 or somewhere in more recent years, and that fucking CD from 1991 or whatever it is, that when that album came out, is now being sold on eBay, and I think someone bought a copy of this thing for like $3,000 or something. It was some insane amount of money that no one pays for, but it's some crazy European collector that's just like, I must own every example of thrash metal that's ever existed. I will fucking buy this. I will fucking find this. I will fucking own it. And wow. And you've got these guys who that band actually reformed, and I think are working on new stuff, partly probably to do with that kind of new interest in this band, this forgotten band. But yeah, these guys are, like us, like, working shit jobs, just trying to get by, fucking all the rest of it. And then you see something like that on eBay and it's like, holy fuck, that's my old band, and I wish I could have some of that money. That'd be really good. But no, we go. It's fucking crazy.
That collector bug thing really kind of took off, especially like during the pandemic. It was like, well, I can't go to shows. We might as well.
Right. What else are you gonna do?
Get albums.
Yeah. I'll spend the thousands that I would normally spend on flying to another country on a demo from 1991. Fuck yeah. That's a great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I don't get like going after like all the like all right, if it's in a store and I'm not having to like mail it over, because like that's my fear. Like if I get like this really rare thing, I'm like, oh, it's gotta come across seas and it's gonna be packaged up. It's like, I've seen people handle packages like, there it is, it's fine. It's got bubble wrap.
Yeah.
That protects it from everything.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, if I see it on a rack in a store though, and I can just drive with it home safely, I might spend, like $30-$40 on like a rare CD. I bought a couple of rare ones. Like I found Nuclear Assault's Survive, like an original print on CD. Paid $20 for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a hard to find album.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't have a clue. I've got a copy of Survive on CD, but yeah, I'm so clueless as to what's rare anymore. And quite often I'll have someone going through my stuff and pulling out VHS tapes, going, "Oh my god, do you know how much this goes for on eBay?" I'm like, I don't care. Fucking give me that back. Fuck off.
Give me that back and get out of my house.
Yeah.
Wait, how much is it worth? Well, I'm not selling it, but just, But yeah, I got Discogs because I kept rebuying shit, which when we started doing giveaways, that was partially why I was like, I bought it again. Stupid.
I've done it where I've, an album's been floating around my car for that many weeks, just endlessly, and ended up getting scratched just enough that one of the songs fucks up, and you get to know where that bit of the song is that fucks up. And you're like, fuck, I can't even play this anymore because I'm just anxious for the first 3 songs, waiting for that fucked moment to come in track 4, and I can't deal with it anymore. Fuck this. I'm fucking buying it again.
Why is it during the lead?
You can see it pass through. You're like, oh, there you are, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Sad times.
Dude, I wore out a copy like flat out from. I don't think I really like tossed around the car or anything like that. But I think just from playing it, my original copy of Faith No More's Real Thing, like to the point.
That's still my favorite Faith No More album.
Oh man, Angel
Dust.
It's.
I understand.
But Real Things, dude. The title track, dude. Zombie Eaters. Surprise You're Dead. Oh
yeah,
so many good songs on that. But I mean, Angel Dust, I don't know. That one just feels weirder and darker and
King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime for me personally.
Great album too.
But
also you had Trey on guitars on that one, and dude, after that last Bungle album, the Raging Wrath,
dude,
Trey has so much in his wheelhouse because all the Bungle shit was just super strange before that. But that was, I had no idea they were a thrash band. Like
I jammed that at work the other night, and I had a mini pit going by myself, and I was punching the air.
I played that for my mom on a trip to Vermilion, and she absolutely loved it. It was like, who is this? It was like, it's Mr. Bungle, but it's not the Mr. Bungle that most people would know. It's them before, but now. But this was their demo, and they recorded it like a couple of years ago, except they brought on Scotty and Dave Lombardo, and it's cool, Mom. Just listen to it.
Trust me. No, I've sadly that's another one where I know I heard so much about it when it came out. I think I heard one song and went, "Oh fuck, okay, this needs time to sit down and properly, get
so
right into this." And I still I still have not familiarized myself with that release, but more homework for me.
Dude.
Big time.
That album for me is like a nonstop adrenaline spike. Like it just starts here and it stays there the entire time. Like, oh my god. Dude.
Yep.
Sudden Death, the closer, that is like a 7.5 minute riff fest of just.
Didn't that album get a 5-star?
Yeah, still, it's a 5-star still. Like every time I put it on, I enjoy every single second of it.
It's a must listen. Clearly,
have you jammed the new Voivod, Cain?
No, I saw you. I watched. I saw your review, and I got so excited to check it out because I love what their previous album.
Oh, The Wake.
Yeah, I love The Wake. And yeah, I've been really looking for. I knew that they had a new release in the works, but I haven't heard a single track from it yet. But I thought, I'm curious to know where you guys are going to go with this. And so, a few minutes in, I was like, oh shit, fuck, I still haven't heard it.
I mean,
it's brilliant.
It's everything.
I had high expectations just because The Wake was amazing. Like I jammed that one quite a bit. Like, dude, they're this far in their career and they're still pushing boundaries. Like they're not even just kind of settling on their same old sort of weirdness. They're like, no, we're going to keep getting more strange, more, I don't know, hooky in our own way. And we're going to let Chewy just fucking go. And that dude,
and he did.
Oh my god, that dude is such a good guitarist. But dude, Rocky, their bassist, is just buttery smooth. He just kind of anchors like a lot of the melody.
Yeah,
like they're all just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, everybody's firing on all cylinders. It's woo.
I have a lot of admiration for that band and those musicians. Fucking killer.
I own every Voivod album. I became a fan when I saw them at Ozfest in 2002 when they had Jason Newsted in there, and I bought that album when it came out. The self-titled one. It wasn't that good, but I worked my way back, and then I think it was when I heard Killing Technology. I was like, okay, no, that sounds really cool. And then from there, I just started buying all the other Voivod stuff. And then people said, "Oh, stay away from like Angel Rat. It's trash." Like, dude, I love that album. It sounds like Rush except heavier.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I love the more kind of progressive elements of that band as much as I love the, you know, just the aggressive, noisy
Yeah.
stuff. They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
they do what they fucking want, and I really admire that, you know. And
Yeah.
the fact that they're still around and they're still putting out albums and their following is always there and always growing with every release they put out. They're just really inspiring. There's a lot of bands out there that have been sort of, they've had a massive following in maybe the 80s and kept punching it, keep putting out albums, and they're still, you know, out there. They're still playing festival shows and stuff like that, and kind of giving their fan base what they kind of expect, and they get by on it.
Yeah.
But aren't necessarily doing anything that makes your head spin and, oh fuck, have you heard what these guys are doing now? It's just like, oh yep, that's what I kind of guessed they would still be doing,
Sure.
which is great.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people are still supporting this band. But then you have a band like Voivod, and where they just don't adhere to any trends or anything. They just go, whatever's happening in here is what's going to come out, and that's what you're going to hear. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. If you do, come with us, and that's great. We'll have you on board and whatever. I really admire that. It's very cool.
I mean, and this is like an interesting era, like where I would say, like within the last, God, maybe 5 or 10 years, that we started seeing the more of like a band just touring for one album, playing that entire album, you know, versus like,
hey, good for that.
Yeah, Deicide playing all of Legion at MDF this year.
That's gonna be
which I have no problems with, because that's like, for me, the Deicide album. But you know, there's a lot of that though, and like part of that, like I kind of wonder, like, all right, if it's a band playing their entire new album, that shows confidence in all the new material, like they really believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like, oh, we're gonna play this classic album in its entirety, just because it doesn't seem like people are buying the new stuff or whatever, like, I don't know, like it's good that the band can still do that, and it's still a testimony to like how impactful it is. But like, I don't know, like that feels like it's just like kind of like punching a clock sort of thing. Like, we're just doing this one because it was clearly not feeling the passion in the studio anymore.
Yeah. It can be a double-edged sword kind of thing. Yeah, there's times where it's really cool, and you go, "Fuck it, I actually would love the opportunity to get to see one of my favorite bands do that album that I love." But it's nice when, I mean, we toured with Obituary while they were not playing a single album set list, but they were playing songs purely from the first 3 albums, and for me that was I was like a 16-year-old, just kind of losing my shit every day, you know, watching what those guys sound check and just standing there and going, yep, this is the best. I could do this for as many dates as these guys want to fucking keep doing this. I'll show up and I'll stand here and watch them sound check.
The tour never ends.
I'll be over here making a stank face because I love it.
Yeah, right.
Like, dude, has he broken that face yet? No, he's been fixed. he's on it.
And then
I get it with Obituary.
A couple of years ago, they did do one of those album tours where they're touring a solid full album. I forget which album they were doing, but they actually did do 2 sets. So they did one full album and then did a set of just all sorts of stuff, including new stuff, and their new stuff's phenomenal. Like,
that last album, the self-titled one, was like, because honestly, my expectations were a little bit lower because I didn't like the 2 previous ones, but that self-titled album just fucking whooped ass. Like, dude, this sounds like the Obituary that I fucking, you know, got into in high school. So, John is another,
you know, if you talking about specifically death metal vocalists, he's another one of those guys that he's one of that top 3 or 4 golden voices in death metal that I've,
he'd be up there.
Blew my mind as a kid, and I still just enjoy that the texture of what he does so much. Live in studio, he fucking absolute death metal.
We preach it all the time. We want John Tardy to read children's stories.
Yeah. Books on tape.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, wouldn't that be great?
Anything. Like, have him do like a voiceover in a commercial, like for something so super tame, and make it sound so damn evil.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. A lot of, particularly in the realm of death metal vocals, there is just countless cookie cutter bands out there where you hear 3 seconds of the voice and you go, yeah, I pretty much know this is exactly how the rest of this album's going to go. And that singer might sound like the same singer from this band and the singer from that band. It's difficult to differentiate between a lot of growling death metal singers, but then you have people like, John Tardy, for example, where they have so much personality come through in what they're doing that you cannot mistake that for anyone else.
Yeah.
It's like immediately you just, oh fuck, this is either Obituary or some other project that he's singing for. That's John Tardy for sure.
Super distinct. Hey, John, are you still there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your
Peter
camera
from
froze.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
You're making that same face. It's like, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna figure it out.
I love the still that we've got stuck with. It's the best still.
So happy.
Like, he's transfixed. What we're saying is super interesting right now. Look at him.
All right,
we're all back.
Yeah, I was saying,
as
Peter
you were saying,
from Vader.
Peter from Vader. He's up there as one of my just most highly regarded death metal voices out there. Peter, John from Obituary, Martin from Asphyx and Pestilence, George Fisher. Those guys are kind of like the crowning lords of death metal, in my opinion. And they're total pro. And just instantly recognizable voice, and they're people that put a lot of guts into the performance. It's not just it's really expressive. I think that's what I'm looking for. It's expressive, really, and there's a lot of a human kind of emotionally charged delivery in what they do as well. The first time I met Peter was actually on that tour that we did. It was kind of awkward because I remember going into a toilet where he was already in there and had forgotten to lock the door. So I've opened this door, and Peter from Vader is in the process of just laying out toilet paper over the seat before delivering the goods.
Sure.
And I've walked in and seen this and just gone,
hey,
hi, and he looked up and just went, and that was the exchange. I just went, I just shut that door and got the fuck out of there, and we never spoke about it again. But we did have many other fantastic conversations and good times on that tour. But quite a surprise. I was not expecting that to be the magic moment of getting to meet one of my death metal idols. But that's touring for you.
So when Nick and I met Barney from Napalm Death, that was an experience too. We were outside. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So
I mean, we were
Barney's
outside having
another
a
one.
smoke.
He's up there as well. I love Barney Greenway. I adore.
He's
Barney
a whirlwind of motion, and he's more active than me at 50 now. he's fucking awesome. He's Barney.
So I would love to see a Barney Greenway workout video, like
Me too.
like the old '80s workout videos where I just want to.
He's
see
got one of
him
the leg
just-
warmers, just leg
yeah,
warmers,
yeah.
jazzercise.
Oh, yeah. I'd get up early to watch that shit. I'd be up early. I'd be doing the Barney workout for sure. He needs to do it.
The
Capitalize
entire
on that shit.
VHS set of videos.
There
for his
are
workout.
there are a lot of unfit metalheads out there that would be fucking ripped if they had that fucking.
Yep.
But
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
we'd get up. We'd do it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd
We'll
get up
show
and
up.
work out with Barney Greenway.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
Let's
out.
make
We
that
were
a thing.
outside having a
We'll
smoke.
make that an internet
and,
thing.
Absolutely.
John, actually, I pointed out to John that Mystery Index drummer. I always fucking his
Adam
damn
Jarvis.
name. Adam Jarvis. Adam Jarvis from Misery Index, because they were on the bill too.
Oh, yeah.
He was right behind him. He was like, "Hey, Adam Jarvis." And John was like, "Oh, hey." So he went up, like,
Really?
shook his hand. Adam Jarvis, super cool dude. He says, "Yeah, I think my
yeah.
drum performance was off that night because I didn't have my shoes." And John's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, no,
He
your
left his
drum
drum
performance
shoes,
was
and I was like, yeah, I'm
off."
sure that was, yeah.
Are you kidding? Dude's ridiculous. But there was this Spanish lady, and I don't know what her relation to any of the bands of the tour was. She might have been like the wife of the tour manager or something like that. But she kind of just interjected her way into our conversation, and she was very attractive. So
Gorgeous.
we're easily, and she had the sexy accent too. Oh my god!
And I was like, oh, hello.
So double distracted. She was like, would you guys like to meet Napalm Death? I was like, wait, no, for real? He's like, yeah, no, follow me. And she was like wearing jeans, and that was fun. I was definitely going to follow her. But yeah, she took us. This was at the Agora in Cleveland, and I guess underneath the smaller stage, there's like the whole area for like showers and like a decompressing room and everything like that for all the bands. And she just follow me. It's fine. And I was like, well, we have no reason to not believe you. And we get down there, we turn a corner, and we see Barney. He's just in his shorts, and he's got a towel over his head, and he looks up and he's like, "Oh no, people."
Oh, dude.
But he was like, "No, come on in." And we had a feeling she was drunk as hell. It's like I had a feeling that she'd been doing this like all tour long. Like, no, we're never going to meet you again. It'd be fun. Like, no, I just give me a minute. I'll go out there. But yeah, punishment. So he threw on a shirt. He bullshitted with us. We got a picture with him. Yeah, we were like, sorry, we just followed it out. I was like, nah, it's all right, man. Don't worry about it. And then behind us, Shane Embry popped up and was like, oh shit. And then I think was it your photo or my photo that right behind us was Alan Cassidy.
Alan Cassidy
popped out of the fucking showers, was like he had his head wrapped up in a towel and everything.
Yeah, he was like, yo, we were like, okay.
But yeah, like we were super thrilled to meet Barney, and Barney was kind of like, oh god damn it. No, I get it. But it was awesome. It was kind of a one-of-a-kind experience, and I will always treasure it. But he killed it that night. Like Napalm Death, I've never seen a bad show. Like you just don't get that. Yeah. Even when we saw Barney when he busted his hoof, like it was Municipal Waste, Napalm Death, and Sick of It All, and there was some other opening band I forget. It was another hardcore band.
Yeah, I don't remember the other one.
But yeah, Napalm Death were on. We noticed that Shane Embry was not on bass. It was the bassist from a band called Belching Penguin, which I didn't know that band existed, but apparently they're old buddies. Cool. Shane was off to go see the birth of his grandchild, so totally understandable.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and then we see Barney come out in a wheelchair. We're like, oh, what?
Uh-oh.
So he's got a massive like cast around his fucking foot, and he does one song without even bringing it up. Just get into it. And I was like, all right, I suppose you're wondering what happened. So I guess he said, like, I was on stage not too long ago. You know how I am on stage. It's just, so I kicked a monitor really hard and I might have busted something in my foot. So
to be honest, I'm more surprised that he hasn't had more injuries like that based
Agreed.
on his.
You can't even tell. Like he's not even looking. It's just kicking around.
Up until I had seen Napalm Death, I wasn't a giant fan, and then I saw him a few years ago, and I was like, "Wow, how do you? Wow,
oh,
wow."
Dude. Twist the Knife Slowly. That was the song that got me.
Yep.
So good.
As soon as I heard that opening, like what the fuck? Let's go. Let's do this. All right.
Monstrous, fucking monstrous. So good.
But yeah, he pretty much said like, well, we didn't have Shane because he's off doing family stuff, and I have a busted foot, but we're Napalm Death. We don't cancel shows. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do. And he's just sitting in the chair, just going.
Right, he's still doing his whole shtick, but in the chair.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And I mean, he still had fun with it. He still had fun with it. And then Napalm, then Municipal Waste had a classic bottle war with the crowd. That was pretty fun.
Thank goodness the venue thought ahead, and these aren't glass. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When we saw him the last time with Crowbar, like literally right as the first song started for Municipal Waste, someone just chucked a fucking beer on the ground, like, go! And then like all of a sudden it just turned into a whirlwind of fucking pitters. Like dude, that was the quickest pit I've ever seen spring up. They
know how to get a pit going, that's for sure.
I mean,
fucking such a great band as well. I really
yeah.
Tony Forrest is up there with like one of my favorite thrash metal vocalists in recent years. His voice was completely shot that night. He even says, like, dude, my voice is completely blown out, but I'm gonna keep trying to do this because if you love something, you're supposed to keep doing it. That's like a saying, right? Anyway, next song, let's go.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. They just fucking ripped through an incredible set. They did a ZZ Top tribute that night.
Fuck yeah.
Man. Yeah, Hellraisers, Beer Drinkers, and Hellraisers. Oh,
awesome.
Dude.
Yeah.
Of course.
My mom jammed Eliminator like nonstop when I was a kid, and it is like ingrained in my DNA.
Yeah, I fucking adore ZZ Top. Massive ZZ Top fan.
Fandango.
Their real early stuff through to their most recent stuff, like fucking incredible musicians, songwriters.
There's a couple of like more recent ones.
Everything about them.
Oh, dude,
so good.
I frequently go back to, it was an MTV performance of them doing oh god, Sharp Dressed Man and Under Pressure. And Under Pressure is like
awesome.
Like that's one my of my favorite fucking ZZ Top song.
Yeah. I love that wild drum roll halfway through the song. Yes,
right.
Dave Lombardo, eat your fucking heart out.
He could never do it that way. No, he has done it that fast.
Yeah.
A little bit faster, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, that drummer's not a robot. There's no way that's a drum machine. That's ridiculous. And I hate when bands re-record stuff. Like, don't, if you have a classic, we're going to re-record it. Like, don't, just leave it. It's fine. Look at it.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Great. One of the exceptions that I actually really got into was when Destruction went and re-recorded a bunch of their old stuff.
I did like the re-recording of Mad Butcher. I do like that.
That album is actually fucking badass. Like, they've just gone. It's a shame that we didn't have the kind of production that is available to us now. Let's do a really massive, which could potentially be a disaster, because sometimes I've definitely heard bands do that where it's like you listen to it and go, but it's lost that magic of that original production. But somehow those guys really nailed that and made it work. I'm not sure why it works so well, but that's one that any time I hear any of those tracks, I'm like, fuck. They really did nail that. They really nailed that shit. I'm enjoying this just like when I first discovered Destruction, but just kind of appreciating the songs in a new way, I guess. That doesn't mean I don't listen to the old versions, but they really nailed that.
But it's usually like, again, like the exception, the rule. Like, what was like Exodus did the Bonded in Blood re-recording, and it was like, this is very sterile, and the whole fun part about Bonded by Blood is it's just this raw, gritty, hyper aggressive album. And Paul Bailoff might not have been able to carry a tune, but he was one of the best fucking frontmen ever in like thrash history.
So expressive, just really expressive. You know,
when he said he wanted to see blood upon the stage, he meant it probably. And you know, he tear off your fucking Poison shirt if you saw him. Tie a strip around. Fuck you. Here's a 2x4. Go break that thing.
Yeah, I haven't actually heard that re-recording just because it's kind of that for me. It was a similar thing where I just, as soon as I heard that was happening, I kind of went, I appreciate what you're doing, but it's like, you know, the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've never seen it because I just don't really need to.
Right.
I've even had over time, you know, every now and then someone will go, "Oh, you should watch it. There is some really good moments." I'm like, I don't care. I don't. That's fantastic. I'm sure there may well be some good moments, but the interest level is zero.
Right. I don't want to ruin what I already love.
I don't need to do that. Yeah.
Occasionally, though, film remakes work. Because technically, The Thing, 1981, is a remake, and my God, it's still the best horror movie out there, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Even the remake of The Hills Have Eyes was a real juicy surprise.
Yeah, the second one, not so much.
No. The second one is garbage, sadly. But yeah, that first remake was a really pleasant surprise. Like, fuck, bravo. Cool. Yeah. All right. I will watch this again. And I have.
Have you seen the remake of The Last House on the Left?
No, I have not.
That is
Would
disturbing.
you recommend it? Yeah,
it is.
It's worth.
I find it really disturbing. It is especially the last 5 to 10 minutes of that movie.
I've seen the original and I don't want to see a remake because the original bugged me too.
The original one is disturbing still. I still watch it and be sort of, there's genuine discomfort in sitting through that, even though I've seen it plenty of times. It's still got that.
Yes.
That shit doesn't wipe off.
Yeah. So the remake.
The remake is God. Ugh. It's. Ugh. I can't say it, but the last 10 minutes of that movie is fucked.
Yeah,
like very adult content.
Awesome.
It just doesn't leave my head. It's Ooh.
Hey, there's an Australian film that's not so old. It's still fairly. I mean, what year would it have come out? Probably around 2010, somewhere around there. A film called Snowtown. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Nope.
Because that's actually one of the few films where I've seen it and loved it so much, but at the same time been so kind of disturbed by it that I know that I'm not going to need to revisit that in a hurry, and I've still not taken myself back to watch it. I really want to, but I when I think about it, I can still remember the feeling of getting through that film, and I'm still not in a rush, but I'll definitely revisit. I feel like I have to revisit that movie because it was so good. But if you like your horror and true crime, really dark, disturbing kind of true crime stuff, you need to see Snowtown because it's based on events that happened in South Australia. And what was known as the bodies in barrels case, that was kind of all over the newspapers and media around the time that was kind of uncovered. But yeah, this film goes into that suburban Australian world. I think one of the reasons I was so affected by it was because as I'm watching this movie, I'm going, wow, I've been to that. it feels like that's a house that I was in when I was a kid. All of the small details in the way that it was all put together is so just brilliantly done. Like the attention to detail was so fine that I really was taken back in time to being a kid in the 80s and being in houses that I was in when I remember houses with similar kind of layout and similar kind of furniture and all the rest of it. But some of the events that take place in the film are just really, really well done and really just a kick in the guts, like affecting, really affecting.
Sort of feel.
Yeah. So, but I'd be interested as someone that, as a non-Australian, if you'd be as affected watching it. So please let me know if you do end up seeing it, because I'd love to know what your response is.
I'm gonna look that up.
I actually, that's what I was doing. Looked up the posters and genuinely disturbing. New York Times, 4 stars. The most frightening film about a psychopath I've ever seen. Roger Ebert.
Oh wow.
Well,
fantastic piece of Australian cinema right there, definitely.
I was waiting for you to say like Razorback or something like that, because actually,
I love Razorback. I do love Razorback as well.
It's a well shot movie. Like there's great cinematography in it, but there's also like a giant fucking hell pig murdering people.
Yeah,
which that's why I watched it.
Another one that's somehow managed to go under a lot of radars is a film called Wake in Fright, which if you haven't seen that, that's really worth checking out as well, because that takes you on a real visceral roller coaster into Australian outback and Australian drinking culture and alcoholism and gambling, and basically you just get twisted up in this journey to the point where you just kind of feel like you're in a nightmare and you can't wait to get the fuck out of it. It's just really fantastic Australian cinema.
Ooh.
Again, really worth checking out.
Ooh, it's on Amazon Prime.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
John, you're frozen again.
I know I'm frozen again. I'm afraid to disconnect the fucking thing because we lost people last time. So I don't know.
You broke the internet.
Here,
How dare you?
Here we go. Jammin John versus technology. Here we go.
No.
God damn
it. Actually, you're less there now.
Yeah. Completely there.
Nope. What did you do? Did you break your camera?
No, I didn't fucking... Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't know.
1 hour later.
You can
John, don't leave us. We've been so long. Damn it.
1 hour later.
Let's see if he's actually reading in our chat.
I'm trying, dear God. I don't know.
There he is.
I've unplugged it and replugged it in.
That's what I figured you were doing, because you kept disappearing so fucking quickly.
I'm afraid I don't know what's happening. I don't. Oh, because I'll be back. Woo,
what did you do? You did something.
I'm stupid.
I need to find out what he did. This will be the fun point to close on, because I might actually leave this in the saga of the interweb. Let's see. What? All right. When your face isn't there.
Yay!
There it is.
Okay.
All right, what did you do?
So one of us, maybe the guy sitting here, I don't know. One of us kept unplugging the wrong plug for the
at 2:30 a.m. you're absolutely forgiven.
Okay.
Like, I'm surprised you guys are even still fucking sitting here at the point. I
would be listening to music, honestly, at this. This would be like I would start cutting off, like, all right, I should go to bed. But dude, thank you so much for fucking joining us, man. We've been looking forward to this chat for a while, dude. Like, you were like one of the first guys that complimented us in the review. Like, dude, that was fucking sweet. He's like, holy shit, the dude from Amenta fucking talked to us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't know we're losers yet. Let's not ruin it.
Let's let him find out over time.
Yeah, we're all fucking heavy metal nerds at the end of the day. You know.
Yeah.
Giant
it.
nerd. I mean, that's why
No
I put this
escaping
up there. Is like he needs to know I'm like there's a Godzilla right there too. I love
okay.
all
Now
things Godzilla.
I've got to try. Now he's trying to start some kind of fucking nerd war.
We got to
with me.
flex. We got to flex. All right, hold on. We got time for a flex. Let's see what he's got.
Oh.
Oh shit! You go. Oh my god!
Oh my god,
dude, that's fucking awesome. Wait, is that a pull string and he talks?
Yep, he does.
Oh my god!
He does over 11 minutes of his I don't get no respect routine. It's fucking gold.
Wow.
It's one of my prized possessions.
That's absolutely amazing.
Big Rodney fan right here.
Well, yeah. What? Wow.
He was the king of the one-liners. Untouchable.
Yeah, there you go.
That's amazing.
Check it out.
I didn't even know they made that.
Dude.
This thing I've had it for a long time.
Sure.
I've had it for a few years, so I don't know how easy they are to come by now, but it was a magical day that day when I took.
Oh
that
my god, dude!
home, that's for sure.
That is a fucking gem.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Dude, we did a whole thing about stand-up comedy over at a buddy's channel, Metalomania. John and I were on it, and they also had
Blake
from
Harrison from Pig Destroyer.
Yeah, Blake Harrison from Pig Destroyer.
Yep.
And we went through like a best of comedy, and Rodney Dangerfield was on there. I was like, dude, he's the king of the one-liners.
Yeah.
You can't touch him there.
Yep.
Beast.
Yep.
He's a beast.
But yeah, dude,
But, yeah.
thank you for coming by and hanging out, dude.
Yeah.
And this was awesome, dude. Thank you. It was just fucking fun to sit back and bullshit.
Anytime. You just fucking send the invite.
Sure.
We'll talk some shit. We'll start off where we left off. Next time we'll talk more Caddyshack.
All right, so
dude,
Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. Okay,
oh, dude, I can talk about Caddyshack for
ever. I quote lines from Caddyshack on a daily basis.
Just not the sequel. Just not the sequel.
No, we don't talk about Caddyshack 2. It didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Yeah, that's a faux pas. No. Just don't bring it up. Sorry, my apologies.
Thank you, and I will do the whole little spiel here. Of course, if you like this, subscribe. Come check out more stuff by us. And if you like the episode on Patreon, there is that too. And probably by the time this comes out, there might be T-shirts. So if there is, you probably already know about it, and we'll have links for that down there. But we definitely plan on doing more roundtable stuff because these are fucking fun. You get to connect with the people that make the music that we fucking gush about. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
right.
It's so cool, man. It's a pleasure to hang with you guys.
I'm gonna
cheers, guys.
Cut this off. Yep. Thank you very much again, man. This has been a fucking ball, dude.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Be well.
Be well, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Fellas. We're gonna go to bed.
Sleep tight.
Oh yeah.
Next time.
Peace.
Cheers.
All right. Later.
Later.